Also, the special thanks will also goes to Makkah Chamber of Commerce. I think Mr. Fahad Damanhuri is helping us a lot in terms of advertising this event through 15,000 members of the Makkah Chambers. And also we have a large delegation coming from Bisha Chambers of Commerce as well. You came all the way thousands of kilometers from Bisha. So we really appreciate that. And most importantly, I would like to thank you, the audience in these rooms at Crown Plazas who joining us early in the morning. We really appreciate that. And also people who joining us through Zoom webinars, as well as those who join through the Facebook Live. So thank you very much indeed. Let me also inform the programs of the seminars today. Our schedule is 2 hours of the discussion. We're split into 2 parts. Firstly, we will focusing on the economics and trades opportunities in Thailand, to which we will give more focus on this because a lot of registrants, a lot of the participants is the business person in Saudi Arabia. And the second part of the seminar, as we also have the Thai business person joining through Zoom and Facebook Live as well. So we will give another focusing on the development in Saudi Arabia, focusing on the vision 2030s, how things develop as well. And we will go to the Q&A session afterward, to which if you have a question, you may ask for the mic, or you can write down some of the questions you would like to ask specifically, and we will have our panelists today to answer those questions. And at the end of the seminar, we would welcome you to attend our receptions today to expand the network of business with the Royal Thai Consulate and the Thai trade centers in Jeddah. Next, I would like to introduce our panelists joining from Bangkok, live from Bangkok. Firstly, His Excellency Ambassador Jak Boon-Long. He is currently serving as the Vice Chairman of the Institute of Business Economic Research and Development Foundations, or IBERD. Before that, His Excellency Ambassador Jak joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand in 1984. He was posted in several posts across the globe, including the Washington, D.C., Hanoi, and Berlin. He held several positions in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as Deputy Director General of the Department of International Economic Affairs, Consul-General in Los Angeles, Director Generals of the Departments of Consular Affairs, and he was the ambassador in 3 different continents, including Israel, Norway, and Myanmar. So thank you very much, Your Excellency, for honoring us and participating in today's seminar. Secondly, we have Mr. Thanate Vorasaran, who is now held positions as Deputy Secretary General of Board of Trade of Thailand. Mr. Thanate also holding another position, including Chairman of the Committees on High Quality Tourism Board of Trade of Thailand, Vice President Tourism Councils of Thailand, members of Boards of Directors, Tourism Authorities of Thailand, and Managing Directors in his personal parts of the companies called Thai Gem Smart Development, one of the leading companies in Thailand dealing with gems and jewelries. So thank you, Mr. Thanate, for joining us as well. And on the stage in Jeddah today, Ambassador Soradjak Puranasamriddhi, Consul-General of Thailand in Jeddah. He joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 1992. He held several posts in Vienna, Islamabad, and Phnom Penh. In the headquarters of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, he's also a director of African divisions and the Middle East division before coming here 3 years ago in Jeddah. And lastly, we have Mr. Apichat, Prasertsud, directors of the Thai Trade office here in Jeddah. Mr. Apichat joined the Ministry of Commerce in 2001. He has extensive experience in the Department of Business Development for 20 years. He held several positions there, including Chief of Business Research, Deputy Directors of Business Registration, Chief of Evaluation, Chief of Business Registrations and Services. And on his part as a national researcher in terms of economics, he served in several national working groups related to business development. So apart from trade, if the participant has any questions about setting up a companies or running a business in Thailand, Mr. Apichat will be the right person who will give the right recommendations to you. So let me begin the first rounds of the discussions today with our ambassadors, Consul-Generals. I think the first questions I would like to ask must be regarding the normalization. On 25th of January this year, we have His Excellency, the Prime Ministers of Thailand visited Saudi Arabia, and both sides agrees to normalize the relations. We have heard some of the news already is that allies like Saudi begins their direct flights to Bangkok. We heard some of the development in labor in terms of the political aspect, economics aspect. So many things is going on, Your Excellency. So please give us some of the briefing or overviews of the recent development. Please, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Firstly, let me begin with I was the one that happened to visit Saudi Arabia over 30 years ago during the when Saudi Arabia began its development in infrastructures. During that time, Thai people, Thai labor has also been part of the contribution in helping Saudi Arabia building their country and economy. Fast forward 30 years, I would like to congratulate you all because Saudi Arabia has changed quite a lot into one of the leading economy, very developed countries. That is the thing that I think the Thai people and the Thai society has missed quite a lot of what's happening here in Saudi Arabia. On the other hand, I would like to say that during the 30 years, Thailand has also developed itself to become one of the major players in global economy. We are ranking in some, say, top 20 of the biggest economy in the world right now. We are one of the top exporters in industrial products as well as food product. We have become the 5th largest major exporter of food product in recent years. So both sides has, has been drifting apart. So we didn't learn about each other for quite a long time. But during this time of the missing diplomatic relation, the Thai side have been working very hard for a few years to try to contact with the government of Saudi Arabia, which come into fruitful utilization during the visit of our Prime Minister early this year. So, at the moment, the phase of our diplomatic relation has started and continue to be going very fast. At the moment, I have heard that the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Thailand will be leading a delegation of the Chamber of Commerce of Thailand to visit Saudi Arabia in May. And I've heard that right now the Ministry of Labor of Thailand is going to sign an MOU in labor cooperation between Thailand and Saudi Arabia, hopefully at the end of this month. So there's a lot of things which going on between the government of Thailand and Saudi Arabia right now. So we would like to continue our phase very fast to start with the connection between the business people with our Thai business people, so that trade and investment can continue as soon as possible. Actually, saying like that, we have been continuing our business for the last 30 years, but maybe the business from Thailand is still underrepresented in Saudi Arabia. So it's quite a good time that we are going to start a new business connection at this moment. Apart from that, well, you have heard that Saudi is going has already opened its direct flight to Bangkok, as well as the Thai National Airlines, which used to fly to Saudi Arabia, has considered opening its flight back to Jeddah and Riyadh in, say, at the moment, I have heard that it's in May. So right now, apart from the people-to-people contact, which you can travel a lot faster, easier to Thailand, the import and export of cargoes will be easier. Direct flight will help with the exportation of fruit product and fresh products from Thailand to Saudi Arabia. Again, with all the traveling ban lifted right now, I would like to introduce Thailand to you also, because in the recent year, we have developed into one of the tourist destination, one of the top 10 tourist destination of the world. Before COVID, we used to host something like more than 30 million visitors a year to Thailand. So we expect this year, during the pandemic, still to receive around 16 million of visitors, of which I hope that Saudi citizen will also be one part of that as well. Right now, the visiting of Thailand for Saudi citizens still require visa, but we are working on it to try to abolish the visa regimes so that Saudi citizens can travel to Thailand without visa for tourist purpose for 30 days. That is what we are trying to do right now. And apart from that, I think that as I told you already, that the labor agreement will be signed at the end of this month. So I hope that there will be more Thai workers coming back to Saudi Arabia very soon. At this moment, Thailand has developed into quite an economy. So the Thai workers is at the moment, our Thai workers are mostly in kind of skilled labor, especially in the health services, hospitalities, and all other things. So I think that we should use this opportunity to explore the business and also investment opportunity in Thailand. Thank you.
Very much, Your Excellency. I think there are so many points that you have mentioned, and after this, I will come back to touch on some of the issue which I already received some questions, especially from Makkah Chambers, who connects to us earlier regarding the labor issues. One of the top issues that has been asked during the last couple of weeks. So we'll come back to that, Your Excellency. But now let me turn to our panelists from Bangkok who are on the screen now. Ambassador Jukr, Ambassadors, I think in your parts as the academic institute, kindly please further elaborate on the overall developments in Thailand, and maybe you already prepared some of the presentations about the Thai's economy. Now we have a lot of policy, not only Thailand 4.0, like Saudi has the Vision 2030, Thailand also has the same visions that we look forward to the futures. So many ideas is floating now, like I mentioned Thailand 4.0. There are also things like BCG economics model, the bio-circular greens economy, and things like projects, the big projects like the EEC. So Ambassador, kindly please give us more information about those ideas, please. Thank you, Ambassador.
Well, thank you very much. You hear me well up there?
Perfectly well, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much for your kind words of introduction, Mr. Sharif. And greeting from Bangkok to all of you. The Excellency, the Consul-General of Thailand to Jeddah, the Director of Thai Press Center in Jeddah, and also Deputy Secretary General of the Board of Trade of Thailand. It is a great pleasure to be invited to this distinguished gathering. This seminar is for me is timely because it's happened right after the normalization between our two countries. First of all, I would like to congratulate the Saudi and the Thai, that the two governments agree to normalize the diplomatic relations and revitalize various areas of cooperation and seek new potential areas of cooperation to help increase trade and investment opportunities for both countries. This normalization of diplomatic relations between the two countries is a result of a long-term effort on many levels from both sides. And from this moment, there will be a lot of things to do. Immediately, they should have an appointment of the ambassador, which is we lacking that for 30 years. And then the setting up of the consultative mechanism. And then we have to also discuss the promotion of bilateral and multilateral cooperation to revitalize the area of cooperations, trade, investment, food security, energy, public health, and tourism. And also to seek new potential area of cooperation, such as environment, renewable energy, and also digital transformations. This normalization of diplomatic relations between our two countries is mutually beneficial for both countries in political, security, economic, and social dimension, and of course to the Thai and the Saudi. Thailand and Saudi Arabia can support each other development goals, especially on Thailand bio-circular and green or BCG economy, as well as Saudi vision of 2030. This normalization will further facilitate traveling between their peoples, which will help increase trade and investment opportunity for Thailand and Saudi Arabia, which is the largest Arab economy. Let me give you a little bit of information about IBERD. Since I represent IBERD, Institute of Business, Economics, Research and Development as a vice chairman. This IBERD is one of Thailand's leading research, development and business consulting institution. Our main objective and mission is to provide consultancy service on research and development, creating connection and economic opportunity in order to reinforce business, economic, and development potential in every economic sector. IBERD service focus mainly on 3 areas. One is research on national policy and exclusive level. Second is business competitiveness, development, and on international trade. And also business consulting and business networking and partnership. So this is what in brief that what IBERD has been doing. And then I think our friends in Saudi Arabia can use a service of IBERD if you really want to. It's been a lot of development during the past 30 years. There's so many things happened in Thailand and also in Saudi Arabia. So I just want to bring to your attention what Thailand has to offer to our Saudi friends. There are several points that I would like to make. First of all, I think the main point is that why Thailand? Because as I said, and the Consul-General said, our relation has been stalled for 30 years. So I think this is about a time that we can give you some information of doing business in Thailand. Why Thailand? Thailand is a population of more than 60 million, stand at the heart of ASEAN economic community. A 10-nation civilization common market of 360 million consumers. It has the second largest economy in Southeast Asia, with a strong consumer base, having a total buying power of over 246 billion US dollars. In addition to its excellent connection with the fast-growing neighboring country of Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam, the powerhouse of economy of nearby China and India as well are also easily reachable from Thailand by virtue of its extensive infrastructure network for air, land, and sea, and rail transportation. It also boasts excellent digital connectivity, a skilled labor force, and excellent standard of living. It's making Thailand an outstanding value when considering its overall cost effectiveness. These factors, together with the Thai government's comprehensive policy and investment incentive, make Thailand the preferred investment location in the region. I will not touch upon the trade aspect of the relation between our two countries, because there will be two experts will be present the view on trade, and then there are veteran and who has been in this trade issue for a long time. So I leave it at that, and then we'll ask the two gentlemen who will give presentation after this to concentrate more on the trade issue. But I'd rather give you some information also on the location and market access. Thailand is well connected to fast-growing, as I mentioned, CLMV sub-region by all the excellent transportation infrastructure. And then the business based in Thailand have access to domestic market of 70 million people. As mentioned earlier, 60, I think I got the latest number of 70 million people, with 55 million middle-class consumers. Additionally, the CLMV region has 242 million consumers. Altogether, in the ASEAN, if we count ASEAN altogether, we have 660 million consumers. That's already very huge market. On the national investment in logistics system we have this national investment in logistics system that helping also to integrate the country's transportation system with those of other emerging economies. Thailand also offers close to tariff-free trade with 18 different nations. Maybe the director of Thai Trade Center can give us the more detail on this. This free trade, tariff-free trade with 18 nations, maybe there's more, including major global economies such as China, Central Asia, Middle East, Europe, as well as the ASEAN community. So Thailand has already signed 13 free trade areas, including the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership or RCEP, which is expected to cover roughly 1/3 of global GDP. I also would like to touch upon a connectivity, because when we're talking about Thailand, when you look at Thailand and the map of Thailand, you will see Thailand as a center of connectivity. You will see the north. Sorry, the Consul-General, I don't have the presentation. I don't have a map. You have to imagine that when you look at map of Thailand, you see the north. We have connectivity. You have road link and rail link from the north, which is China, pass through Thailand all the way down to Singapore and Malaysia. Then we also have East-West Economic Corridor. I mentioned earlier North-South Economic Corridor. Now we have East-West Economic Corridor. If you go further to the east, from Bangkok you pass through Laos and Vietnam, and you get to deep sea port in Da Nang in Vietnam. That's also outlet to Pacific market. Then also, if you look to the west, there's a road link from Bangkok to our border in Tak, connect into Myawaddy in Myanmar, and go up north to Yangon, to Mandalay, and also further westward, cross into India in the state of Manipura. And if the situation in Myanmar is settled, then we will continue our road project from the border of Thailand and Myanmar, from Kanchanaburi province, all the way to our deep sea port in the way. And that also will be outlet for the export to Europe, through Indian Ocean and to the Atlantic. So this is something is worth considering for our Saudi friend for doing business in Thailand. Not only you will see the trade route, but also is an investment hub for the Saudi company. It can be Saudi company or a joint venture between Saudi and the Thai company. Another aspect that I would like to touch upon is that the competitive business cost of doing business in Thailand. When we compare with other leading city in the region, Bangkok, which is the capital city of Thailand, is nearly half of the cost of Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, and only 40% of the cost of Seoul in South Korea and Singapore, and 50 and 25% of the cost of Tokyo and Beijing. Also, in terms of wages, we are also quite reasonable for such a highly trained and educated workforce, as wages across the ASEAN region rise due to economic growth. The wage inflation rate in Thailand is among the lowest in ASEAN region. Thailand also is the second home of many international companies. As a regional economic center with all its numerous advantages, it should come as no surprise that Thailand has become the second home for numerous global multinational corporations and a supply chain hub for major industry. This foreign investment activity has been enabled by streamlining of government registration, a growing domestic market, and access to resources such as finance and technical knowledge. Bangkok is not the only place for investment. It's not the only place that we could offer as a prime investment area. But the Thai government, building on the success of Eastern Seaboard, now is presently developing the Eastern Economic Corridor, or EEC. It's a flagship mega project that aims to become the ASEAN leading economic zone for industrial, infrastructure, and urban development, spanning over 13,000 square kilometers across the 3 provinces of Chonburi, Rayong, and Chachoengsao. The EEC has designated area including Eastern Airport City, which is EECA. The Eastern Economic Corridor of Innovation is EECI. Digital Park Thailand is EECD. And Integrated Medical Innovation Center is EECMD. And additional promoted industrial estate, industrial zone surrounding that. To further support innovation-led business within the EEC, the investment environment also features numerous tax and non-tax incentives. I have been talking a lot about why Thailand and what Thailand could offer to our Saudi friend. I just want to touch upon also the development which happened in Saudi Arabia. And the latest is a famous, and what we has been studied is Saudi Vision of 2030. Saudi Vision of 2030 is a strategic framework to reduce Saudi Arabia's dependence on oil, diversity its economy, and develop public service sectors such as health, education, infrastructure, recreation, and tourism. Key goals include reinforcing economic and investment activity, increasing non-oil international trade, and promoting a softer and more secular image of the kingdom. It also consists of increasing government spending on the military as well as manufacturing equipment and ammunition. So this is something that we has been study about Saudi 2030 vision. Under this, there's a global investment program under this Saudi vision of 2030. There's an investment budget of around 3 to 4 trillion US dollar in planning across multiple entities and programs. One is a Global Champion Program. You all may know that there's 7 key industries that have a major impact on the Saudi Arabia economy and being the national priority include consumer, healthcare, industrial, financial, education, real estate, telecom, and media and IT. Then you have within this 2030 vision, you have a public investment fund with current investment asset of 500 billion US dollar and targeting to go to 2.7 billion US dollar by 2030. This PIF, Public Investment Fund, locally in the fall, invest in the many area, and I think there's 3 giga project in the Red Sea, in Qiddiya and Neom. And then another aspect within this Saudi Vision 2030 is private sector partnership reinforcement, which focus on local investment and part of a new national investment strategy. So how, when we already talk about what Thailand has to offer, development that happened in Thailand, and then we also has been informed about Saudi 2030 visions. So there's a lot of area for cooperation between our two countries. But we have to look at whether how the Saudi has been cooperate with other countries, in which framework, because for us it has been 30 years that our cooperation has been stalled. So I look at the frameworks, the example of which country that Saudi Arabia has a cooperation during the past few years. Main countries in Asia that Saudi Arabia has a bilateral agreement with is mostly is South Korea and China, and also Japan, India, and Indonesia. The framework of cooperation, for example, with South Korea, there's a MOU on joint vision was signed between the two countries. There are 5 working subcommittees formed to work on is energy and manufacturing, capacity building, SME investment, healthcare and science, and the last one, smart infrastructure and digitalization. Then when the Saudi has worked with China, there's Saudi-Chinese high-level committee set up in 2016. And to jointly work on cross-investment opportunity, including synergy between Saudi Arabia 2030 vision and the Belt and Road Initiative. So I think for Thailand is your homework. Is your homework is the homework of authority concern of both countries, and also the private sector there to come up with the framework of collaboration. It could be a joint commission set up between our two countries that will govern ways in which the cooperation will go. I will touch upon the trade and investment opportunity between the two countries that probably will lie ahead. There's a great potential between Saudi Arabia and Thailand to cooperate, to collaborate in a number of areas based on Thailand vision, and also Thailand vision and key strength, and also the Saudi 2030 vision and Saudi interest. One is on hydrocarbon and petrochemical partnership. I think we can work on expanding the collaboration to joint investment in Thailand. For instance, the petrochemical upgrade for high-value chemicals, hydrocarbon infrastructure, and joint ASEAN expansion. Then we could explore the EV, electric vehicle. EV is one of Thailand's prioritized S-curve with a 30-30 policy set out targeting to boost zero-emission vehicle or ZEV production to 30%, or approximately 700 to 700,000 units of this CEV by 2030, with tax and subsidy support, battery support, and EV charge roadmap. And Saudi Arabia also aims to produce 300,000 vehicles, including ICE and EV, by 2030 as well. So this is an area that Thailand and Saudi Arabia could join together. Both countries could explore EV hub collaboration. For instance, Saudi Arabia could import EV from Thailand at first stage to stimulate demand and explore investment opportunity to establish EV hub in ASEAN and Middle East. The third area of potential cooperation is sustainable agriculture. Since both countries value food security as important national goal, and especially for Saudi Arabia, so there opportunity for collaboration across agriculture supply chain, from fertilizer production, which is a Saudi strength, to upstream and downstream agriculture value chain, which is the strength of Thailand. Both countries could jointly collaborate in green agri-tech to address rising sustainability needs in agriculture for both countries. The fourth area is wellness and hospitality. Wellness and tourism is one of the Saudi key strategic priority, which Saudi Arabia is developing a giga project for ultra luxurious wellness tourism destination. Since wellness and hospitality also the key strength of Thailand, so Thailand could provide training center for serious professional to work in the above mentioned giga project of the Saudi. There are also other opportunities like cooperation in biofuel and biochemical, also on decarbonization of investment and gaming and also entertainment. So I think that's about what I would like to share with you, the audience, that there are so many areas that Saudi Arabia and Thailand could work together and cooperate closely. So in closing, I would like to express sincere appreciation to the local host, the Consul-General, Consulate-General of Thailand, Thai Trade Center in Jeddah, and Thai and Saudi Chamber of Commerce for organizing this timely seminar. I would like to reiterate Thailand's readiness to implement development projects to help local community, sustainably help themselves without the close cooperation and strong support from government of the Kingdom of Thailand and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, as well as both private sector. The coming collaboration project would be barely possible and successful. I think the authority concerned has done their first part by come up with the normalization of diplomatic relation between our two countries. Now, our private sector of both sides have to work closely together to realize the full potential of Saudi Arabia and Thailand that have to offer to each other for the benefit of our two countries and the people of the two countries for many more years to come. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much for your extensive presentations about not only for Thailand, but also touch upon the Vision 2030s of Saudi Arabia as well. I've learned this morning that Your Excellency also has some others seminars to attend as well, but we really appreciate your presence today. I think I really agree with Your Excellency that it's not about Thailand alone or Saudi alone, but it's about supporting each others. And one example I would like to give, which is a very recent event, is the organizations of the defense and security shows in Riyadh just this week. One example that I would like to put that Saudi and Thailand can support each other is that you wouldn't believe that we also have one drone companies of Thailand, 100% made in Thailand, joining the defense and security shows in Riyadh as well. So that is another examples of not only the area that we already know, like agriculture, tourism, but the advanced industries like drones and military stuff. We also be able to contribute to the Vision 2030s of Saudi Arabia as well. I think now I turn back to our panelists here in this room, Mr. Apichat Prasertsud, who is the director of the Thai Trade Office in Jeddah. I think he prepared some of the presentations about the current and figures trade volumes between Thailand and Saudi Arabia. So I will give the floor to Mr. Apichat to present some of the informations and maybe the suggestions he would like to give as well. So the floor is your director, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Consul-General. And good morning, audience and the guests here in Saudi Arabia. And good afternoon, audience in Thailand. It's a great pleasure for us to having this seminar. And I would like to start with some information about Thai and Saudi Arabia to let you understand how and between us look like in terms of some strategy. So the first picture about yes. So in terms of land, Saudi Arabia is roughly four times bigger than Thailand. And the capital cities are Bangkok and Saudi Arabia is Riyadh. The population Saudi Arabia is about 35, and Thailand is about 70 million people. The language Arabic and Thai. The main port Saudi Arabia have Jeddah, Dammam. In Thailand we have a Bangkok and Lamsabang seaport, which is quite big. The currency, Saudi Arabia have a Riyal, Saudi Arabia Riyal. Thailand have Thai baht. One Saudi Arabia Riyal is about 8.8 baht. This is from last week. The GDP, yes, Saudi Arabia is a little quite big. It's 842 US billion, and Thailand is 546 billion. So Saudi Arabia is bigger than Thai in terms of GDP. And GDP per capita, Saudi Arabia is about 23 and 1,800 US dollar. So, and in terms of economic and trade, yes, as both ambassadors mentioned, Saudi Arabia have the big project as Vision 2030, which is much about to develop living standard and non-oil industry. Also, Thailand have we call Thailand 4.0, and we have the one big economic project called the Eastern Economic Corridor. So now it's like Thailand now is pretty much moved. Maybe last 30 years you heard about Thailand. You heard about agricultural product. It's the main thing that Thailand exports to the world. But from last 30 years, Thailand ourselves diversified our product, our reputation in terms of industrial product a lot. And this is some picture for Thai people that Saudi Arabia, the capital city Riyadh. And the other city, main city here is Jeddah. And from your the case, I show you the picture of the image of our city, capital city, Bangkok. So after this, one of you may interested to book the flight and go to Thailand to looking for some vacation or also for the business. So let me focus in my job. It's about trade. Thailand and Saudi Arabia trade. Yes, now we are normalized in terms of relationship. But actually, before that, from 1989 until last year, we doing trade between Thai and Saudi Arabia continually. So we do a trade average 780 million US dollar a year. Even it's not normal in terms of relationship, but both sides still are doing some trade together for the whole year long. But let me show you the last year, 2021. Thailand and Saudi Arabia trade is about 7,780 million US dollar. And Thailand export to Saudi is 1,700 million US dollar. And Saudi export to Thailand is around 6,000 million US dollar. So yes, we buy things from Saudi Arabia a lot. Let me show you the statistics of about the top products between Thai and Saudi Arabia. And to make you a clear picture about what it looks like in terms of trade. Yes, mainly Saudi Arabia export to Thailand is oil, crude oil. This is Thailand consume a lot of oil from Saudi Arabia. Oil, crude oil, chemical, fertilization, fuel oil, minerals, and some is industrial material for Thai factory. We import a lot from Saudi Arabia. On the other hand, Thailand export product to Saudi Arabia. The first one is the car and the parts. So we are call ourselves somehow the tribe of Asia. We have a lot of car assembly factory, and we do export to Saudi Arabia. And the second one is the wood and the wooden products. For example, is the fiber board and MDF board, which is Saudi Arabia consume this product a lot in terms of construction and furniture product. And the third one is air condition and the parts and both rubbers, can and processed food, seafood product, fridge, machinery, chemical, washing dryer machine, series. This is the top 10 export product from Thailand to Saudi Arabia last year. And the rest is the other thing that you may know a lot about Thailand. For example, Thai rice. We still do export to Saudi Arabia, but the value is less, not in the top 10. But still, Thai rice is a food product that export to Saudi Arabia. And maybe because from our Thai Prime Minister visit to Saudi Arabia, and a lot of good things happen between Thai and Saudi Arabia a lot. It's like every week. It's about travel, and it's about the direct flight. Also, early this week, we have another good news between Thai and Saudi Arabia. Is the SFDA Saudi Arabia has lifted the ban of import the poultry product from Thailand. this is another good news for Thai side also, and Saudi Arabia have a importer have a chance to import Thai poultry product from Thailand. This is gonna be another product that make the good trade between us. So for the Saudi businessman who looking for the business opportunity in Thailand, as I mentioned that right now we are diversify ourselves in terms of production a lot. So we have many industrial products that can serve you and match with your Vision 2030. And what we can serve you in terms of business opportunity. Thai Trade Center in Jeddah. We here in Jeddah more than 20 years. And to serve Thai and Saudi businessmen in terms of trade. We are the bridge between two of us. So let's talk about the product. Yes, if you want the product from Thailand, come to us. We have the food, that's the fresh food, the fruit, the organic, the processed, the future food. We will develop our food in terms of quality, safety, healthy. Yes. And the consumer and the household product, as both ambassadors mentioned. Someone in ASEAN call us the king of consumer product. So we produce a lot of household and consumer product, very good quality, very high quality, safety, and design. And yeah, we have the strategy called VCG, bio, circular and green products. So it's very trendy and very good and quality. And the third one is the industrial product. As I mentioned, that we are diversified ourselves, so we can serve you in terms of material for your construction, for your industry. For example, if you now have a lot of construction in terms of accommodation, hotels, resort, and many buildings, we can serve you like a industrial product for the building. Also the furniture. We have the good quality of the furniture product, for example. And the other thing is opportunity in terms of service and investment. Many Saudi Arabia come to us talking about how to setting up the business in Thailand to do some service. Someone who is interested in terms of management service. So you want to hire worker to work here, and we want to open the company in Thailand to do this job. Need to concern about is the law and regulation. So, what you can come to us details. And someone open the factory in Thailand. Open the factory in Thailand. You need to company that was doing business in Thailand. You study about what is your business that you want to do. If you do some business that can get incentive, that's really good. But if you have to do some business that happen, you can to make So this is our job, Thai Trade Center, to do support Saudi businessmen that are looking for the business opportunity from Thailand, the products and the service or the investment that you want to. And yes, but to do the service and investment, you need to talk or have more details about how to and what can do and cannot do in Thailand in terms of business for the foreign company. And also from you, some of you are now talking with Thai sides in terms of buying the franchising business from Thailand to open in Saudi, which is another thing that Thailand have some reputation in terms of franchising service, like a food, restaurant, or cafe and beverage. This is another thing that's very interesting, and if you guys are interested, we can give you more information after this about. Yes, sir. And okay, I break my session right now. And
thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Directors. I think I take note some of the your presentations, especially the other products that the traditional one that we already aware of, like agricultural product, foods and beverage. So I will come back to ask you in the second sessions of the seminar, but let me go back a little bit to the Ambassador Jak's remarks about the works of the IBERD. He mentioned that one of the things that IBERD is giving service to a business person is also the consultants. So, if some of you or, the participants here also in the online has interest in connecting with the IBERD to get the consultancies, you may contact the Royal Thai Consulate. So we will be some kind of a bridging to connect you with the institutions. So we'll be willing to connect you to the IBERD as well. Now, I think for the first round, I will end these sessions with the presentation from the Board of Trades of Thailand. Mr. Thanate, the Deputy Secretary General, is also here with us. I think Mr. Thanate already prepared some of the presentations regarding the trade and investment opportunities in Thailand in terms of tourism, as he has specialized in that, and gems and jewelry industry, as well as his private parts, is leading the private company dealing with gems and jewelry. I will give the floors to Mr. Deputy. Thank you very much once again for attending the seminar from Bangkok. Please, Mr. Deputy, thank you. Mr. Deputy, we don't hear your voice, sir. I think the setup is not linked to the microphones of the. I think that we don't mute you, but I think the microphones in the rooms you use is not enabled.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Yes, sir, we hear you. We hear you, sir. Please continue, sir.
Can you hear?
Yes, yes, sir.
Excellency Kun Soradjak, Puranasamriddhi.
Consul-General of Thailand in Jeddah, His Excellency Ambassador Jak Boon-Long, Vice Chairman of IBERD, and Kun Apichat, Prasertsud, Director of Thai Trade Center in Jeddah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This morning, His Excellency Kun Soradjak has already confirmed our government policy to build a strong relationship between us. His Excellency Ambassador Jak already showed us that why Thailand, and Kun Apichat give us all essential information about both of our country. From now, we will share some part of the opportunity of the trade in Thailand, between Thailand and Saudi Arabia together. For the general information, in 2020, Thailand import from Saudi Arabia in the value about $4 billion US. That means not too much, but in the 12th rank of Thailand import. Another one, in another hand, in export. In export, we have export the goods to the Saudi Arabia only about 1.7 billion US dollar. For the share, it means about 0.7%. That is not too much. But if we look back to the other 30 years ago, this proportion should be 2.2. That means that we have the space that we can make it. So we just look around to business that may be the opportunity and have the potential. Today we will look into business. First is the gems and jewelry. Another one is for the tourism. The first, gem and jewelry is one of the top 10 rank export of Thailand for a very long time, forever. So this is one is the base that we have. For the last year, Thai export gems and jewelry to about in value about 10,000 million US dollar. This include the gold. But if the value would not include the gold, is about 6,000 million US dollar. That means the huge amount. For the proportion of the export, 44% is from gold, and for the silver jewelry is 19%, and 15% from the gold jewelry. The fourth place is polishing diamond is 14%. This four part is almost of the Thai export in gems and jewelry. For the customer, we have a top 10 customer. The first one is the USA, Hong Kong, Germany, India. But I would like you to look for the ninth one is the UAE. UAE is one of our customer, the bigger 10 in the rank in the 8, because for the figure, this figure is only in November, but after all the last year, the UAE is 192 million US dollar spent for the gem and jewelry of Thailand. I think that Saudi Arabia have a lot of potential to be the bigger market, because UAE just have only the population about 10 million. They can buy a lot from us too. Compared with the Saudi Arabia gems and jewelry trade in last year, the Saudi Arabia import gems and jewelry from the world about 2,500 million US dollar. Why they import from Thailand about 20 million US dollar. For the export is the very special, because for the Saudi Arabia is one of the places that make the gold and make the jewelry too. So expert in this kind of the business. They export about 1,300 million US dollar last year, but export to Thai about $9,000, not million, $9,000. That I think that is very small amount. We can increase this amount, both export and import together, if we have the partnership and do it together as well. In gems and jewelry, I think that we have the big opportunity, both import and export. But and another thing is maybe we have the opportunity for the investment too, because I know that in Saudi Arabia have the very big market of the gold and jewelry, but they begin to have shortage for the skilled labor in this business. So maybe you can use Thailand to be a region hub, or maybe use us to be a production center. Thai goldsmith is very well known that we have a really good, and we have the competitive in price and skill craftsmanship. So if you consider to be increased not only the export and import for the gems and jewelry, maybe you may think about the invest in Thailand to use Thai craftsmanship or use Thai competitiveness in the gems, because we are the wholesale of the gems. We are the center to improve or enhance the quality of the gems of the world. So you can use our competitive to be the production center too. For another one, for the tourism, as we know, the tourism in Thailand is we are the expert in tourism of the world. In 2019, we have about 40 million foreign customers come here and generate the revenue from the tourism about 3 million baht. So, which is 3 million baht is equal to about 100,000 million US dollar. So that is why we think we are the good one in this business. We usually be top 5 of the foreign tourists of the world, both in number and in the spending, for about 5 years. So we are really the good one in this one. In another way, we did not get the revenue from the foreign tourists. We sent or not sent, we give our citizens to go out to spending abroad too. In the tourism business, we call, when the foreign tourists come here, we call the inbound market. But for the Thai people that go out, we call it outbound market. So we do both inbound and outbound. 2019, we have 40 million people inbound come to our country. Why? We have Thai people about 10 million go abroad. So if we do the traveling or do the tourism business together, it doesn't mean that we would like the Saudi Arabia people will come to Thailand, but Thai tourists can go to Saudi Arabia too. That the both commitment or the both relationship. Saudi Arabia is one of our target market. One of the big market of our market is the GCC. GCC is mean the Gulf Cooperation Council. These 6 countries, UAE, Bahrain, Oman, Kuwait, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, is our target market for a long time. But when we see the tourists that come from these 6 countries, we show that for all the 6 countries in 2019, we have about 400,000 tourists from the Saudi Arabia, about 30,000. The most one is from UAE, 130,000. That look not so competitive, because in the real information that we know, Saudi Arabia has about population about 35 million, while UAE have about almost 10 million. But tourists from UAE is more than Saudi Arabia. Some reason is that Saudi Arabia can come to Thailand just only in the medical or business purpose, but from now we can get in the tourist purpose too. So if we look for the population about 34 million or 35 million of the Saudi Arabia, that means that we can target, or we can propose, we can dream for about 500,000 tourists from Saudi Arabia here in Thailand for the next years, not this year. In this year, in the beginning, Tourism Authority of Thailand estimate that we may have about 200,000 of the tourists from Saudi Arabia that we try to do in this year. And for the long term, I think that we have the opportunity and we have space to do better than 200,000 for more and more. I know that Saudi Arabia have the Vision 2030. This one of the purpose of the 2030 is to increase in hospitality business. That is the good one. I just like to propose Thailand, because Thailand is the good in tourism and the good in hospitality too. We good in medical, we good in wellness, we good in tourism. So if Saudi Arabia would like to complete the mission, maybe you must to have the friend, must to have the relationship, must to have the partner that know better about these things. And I think that for the Thai people, we have the service mind, and we try, and we have the experience can share and can do together. I think that Thailand have the suitable partner for the Saudi Arabia for the hospitality business. In Thailand, you maybe ever heard about the BCG model. Thailand suffered for about 2 years for COVID-19 too, but we try to get better, and we try to get a new way of the tourism. We ever be a good one, but now we be a better one. The next normal of the tourism maybe not only for the spending, only for the money, but we look for the mind of the people. We look for the environment, just like the Ambassador Jack already said. So in the new type of the Thai tourism, we call it a happy model. We will look for the creative, look for the identity of local culture, we look for the wellness and BCG. BCG, that means that biocircular and green economy. That means that we try to propose the tourists the new way, and try to propose our entrepreneur to make the new service for the tourists too, to be the good quality tourism. Concept of the BCG value that we derive to be the happy model is very easy. We try to make our service and product to be a high quality tourism through 4 aspect tourism activity: eat well, live well, feed well, and give well. The concept of this one is that we try to change from the cost to the revenue. As you know that if you would like to preserve the nature or culture, you must to have a cost to do it. But by the good arrangement or by the good management, you can get revenue and preserve them together. Another way, we try to change from volume to value. I already said that we have 40 million people foreign tourists to Thailand. That is the good for us for the money, but maybe we have some kind of the concept to get more revenue, but not increase the number. How we can get a margin from each of the customer, each of the tourists, more than increase the number of the customer. So how we can try the value of the tourists and more than the volume. Another one is that at the last 10 years, we are the good in the tourist city, but our community in the destination maybe suffer about the cultural, maybe suffer about the waste, maybe suffer about the how to stay and use their staying life. So we try to not only be the tourist destination, we try to get the good environment, get the good things for the people in the destination too. And the last concept is the change from the economy to be happy. We may not look only the money, but we consider, we will mention the tourist mind and the community mind in the destination too. In the tourist business, I think that we have the two opportunity. The first one is to increase tourists between our two countries. That means that Saudi Arabia can send more tourists to Thailand. Why Thailand can go to travel in Saudi Arabia too? How we can do for both of the citizens can go through together by the easy way. Mr. Soradjak already said about the visa, tourist visa, maybe visa on arrival or something that we try to do. Another one is the cooperate to develop the tourist destination, both in Thailand and Saudi Arabia. I already go to the Dubai Expo this year. I think that is very good. And Dubai can do a very best in the man-made destination. But if compared with the Thailand, it's the different. We did not compare for the man-made with the Dubai, but we have the cultural and we have the service process that we can compete it. That is not that cannot compare to the equal. So I think that Saudi Arabia tried to get the hospitality industry, and maybe we can do it together. So you can get some partner from Thailand to develop the service business in Saudi Arabia. Why Saudi Arabia people or investor can come to Thailand and invest some man-made or invest some activity in Thailand that we may be not the expert for this one. So we can exchange the knowledge, the experience, and we can do it together to develop the true destination to be the destination of the world. I will pass this one because it may be detailed. After we already explored the opportunity of the two, such as gems and jewelry and tourism already, I would like to suggest you two tips of ease of doing business in Thailand. Two tips is that one is that how to get the easy travel and easy stay in Thailand. Another one is how to find the trustworthy partner or suitable partner in Thailand. The first one, how to get the easy travel. I know that when you go abroad, maybe you have some problem to pass that immigration. Maybe you have some problem about working permit or something. This one is the good one to try. Thailand Privilege Card begin or create for about 10 years ago. For the exclusive tourist or elite person, we have the service. For the traveler that come to Thailand, they have the personal assistant. Must go to show yourself to the immigrant every 3 months. You need not go. We have assistant to do it. We have the limousine that take you from your home, your condo to the airport. We have the personal liaison. We have the call center in the airport. We have the lounge that you can use and benefit from the spa and golf in Thailand too. So this one is good for the tourists, but good only for the tourists. The Thailand privilege card or elite card did not make for the businessman. So they did not have the work permit, just only the travel. But from next month in April, we have the new scheme. New scheme is flexible plus program. This one is very good one. So you can be the member of Thailand privilege card and get the work permit too. For the next month, this is a very new scheme. Usually when you come to be our member, you may have the privilege entry visa. Privilege entry visa, that means that if you be the member of Thailand privilege card for 1 year, you can get 1 year's visa. But our 1 year's visa is not the usually that we'll call the privilege entry visa that we put in your passport. And you can get another 3, you're a member of your family to have the visa too, but not the privilege. Just like we call it non-American O for the 3 of your family for one member. But from the next month, we have a new scheme. If you can show the investment in Thailand suitable for the regulation, you can apply the work permit too. Only can apply for the member, not the family, for the member. And so you can get both to a membership card and both working permit. That's more easy for the businessman to travel to Thailand in and out, to play golf, to get the spa. And maybe if you have to have the office in Thailand, you may use this one visa for your family too. The detail I will pass it. Another tip is Board of Trade of Thailand or Thai Chamber of Commerce. I tell you something that when you come to Thailand, maybe you must to find the network. Maybe you find to some person that can give you the information. Maybe your business partner. This network can help you because we have about more than 100,000 people, more than 100 people or business in our network. Thai Chamber of Commerce, we have, you look at the orange one, we have the University of Thai Chamber of Commerce. That means that you have the student, you have the knowledge from do the business from the UTCC. Another thing, other section, we have the 40 foreign chamber of commerce too. That means that if you connect to us, you can connect to other 40 foreign chamber of commerce too. That is the good relationship. Because when you stay in Thailand, maybe know who is very essential. Maybe essential more than the know-how. Know who is very good. So another one, we have the about 144 trade association. We have the hotel association. We have the tourism association. We have the logistic. All of the kind of association that we have, we can connect it to you if you would like to. Another one, we have 76 provinces in Thailand, and we have 76 provincial chamber of commerce too. Everywhere you go, every province you go, you can have our network and you can do it. The best one of our connection, our network is the YEC. We call it Young Entrepreneur Chamber of Commerce. This one is the people, the new businessman. the age lower 45. These all people have the generate the good idea, have the new model of business that you can do with them. This one is the all of the network that we have, and I think that is the good tip. If you would like to come to Thailand, maybe you connect to us first and get some information. That is very good for us too. I tell you that for the Thai Chamber of Commerce or Board of Trade of Thailand, we have the 3 value chain. This one is our expert. We have the trade and investment, we have the food and agriculture, and tourism and service. So this kind of the business, if you would like to have some information or would like to find some partner or would like to come to Thailand to do the collaboration, we can be the one that can support. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Deputy Secretary General, Mr. Thanate, for your presentation. I think your 2 main topics of presentation. One is the tourism industry, and the gems and jewelry is really relevant now. I think every year before COVID, we bring a large delegation with Thai trade centers here to attend Bangkok Gems and Jewelry as well. So I think a lot of our participants here will be interested in these sectors. And also we also have a representative from the airlines would be very much interested to explore the ideas of the tourism industry as well. So thank you very much, Mr. Deputy. I think one of the things that I would like to add is that we recently, I think from last week, that we had a news from the Saudi embassies in Bangkok that they begins to issue a tourist visa for the Thai people already. And just I think 2 days ago, our ambassador Soradjak has just met managers of the Kempinski hotels who get the visa, tourist visa from the Saudi embassies in Bangkok, visiting our consulate, I think just 2 days ago. So that's another development I would like to point out. It will be 2 ways, definitely, and we look forward for the 200,000 Saudi tourists to visit Thailand, and I'm sure our colleagues in the Emirates will be happy to hear that, and SV as well. I think we are running out of time. We aim for 11 o'clock for a networking outside at the reception area. So I will ask a couple of questions. I think we have some of the questions coming through Zoom and Facebook already. One will go to Mr. Deputy. But before that, let me also ask my Consul-Generals to touch upon the issues of halal procedures and halal certifications and halal industries in Thailand as well. That would be one of the things that we would like to highlight about the procedures, about the overall pictures. And after that, I will go to Mr. Apichat for some of the questions. And lastly, for Mr. Deputy Thanate for the some of the questions regarding Bangkok Gems and Jewelry. So please, I pass on Mr. Consul-General for the halals, and will be to Mr. Director. Please, Mr. Consul-General.
Food from Thailand. Okay, not very. So before going to the halal food products, I just would like to paint the picture first with regarding to Thailand as a top country in the food exportation in the world. We have been ranking among top 10 place in the exportation of food products in the world. We have plenty of food products to offer from fresh food, the meat products, and up to processed food and all the other food as well. With regarding to halal, it is also one part of our products which we export quite a lot. We've been ranking at the 13 largest halal product exporter in the world to 57 countries around the world. The cost of our exportation is something like $6 billion US dollar per year. So what is special with regarding to the halal product of Thailand? Actually, in Thailand, we have our institution to offer the halal certificates. Not only this institution is the religious institution, we also use the we have the Halal Science Center of the Chulalongkorn University, which also use the scientific ways to ensure with regarding to halal as well as food safety to issue the halal certificates for the food that will be exported as halal products. So this is the thing that our halal product is quite well known throughout the world. So I'm sure that here within the Saudi market, you happen to see a number of Thai products in the supermarket already. But I would say that we still have plenty. There are still a lot of products that we can offer to the Saudi market, which you can explore. And we ensure you that our halal process is up to the standard of halal in the religious way as well as food safety as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I think the next question is regarding the free trades area between Thailand and Saudi Arabia. The question is that, let me read it out. Any free trade agreements that can apply or will be applied for exports and imports between Thailand and Saudi Arabia? I think I give these questions to Mr. Director.
Thank you very much for the question. FTA or free trade agreement, it seems like the ultimate goal for both countries in terms of trade relationship. But let me explain something like this, because between Thai and Saudi Arabia right now, we just come back for normalization in terms of relationships. We still have many things that we need to do to create, because we lost something for many 10 years. And also we have things that to get rid of in terms of constraint. So all the things that we try to do from both government, both sides, is, I think it's a pretty much benefit for Thai and Saudi businessmen to do trade and investment together. It's much enough to enjoy right now for the trade and investment together. So, but yes, we keep in mind all the time that some trade or investment agreement between two countries is going to be another things that both sides keep in mind, and probably we can have something like a joint committee doing a roadmap in terms of trade and investment together after this. So don't worry about the free trade agreement. Just prepare yourself ready to make the trade and make known with both businessmen together That's the best thing that I think both sides gonna do together right now.
Thank you, Mr. Director.
Let me add with regarding to this. Actually, Thailand is open for the free trade agreement. We have been proposing free trade agreement with quite a number of GCC member, namely say Bahrain and the UAE. But well, as you know that country in the GCC are within the GCC, so the cooperation among GCC may state that everyone in GCC would like to have the free trade agreement as a whole or not. But well, if Saudi Arabia want to have a free trade agreement directly with Thailand, we are open. I think at the moment both sides have started their negotiation with regarding to a lot of things. So we will need to wait and see to hear. I hope that, as I already told the audience, that there will be visits from the Thai side, maybe after Ramadan and Eid, starting in May. And I think there will be a lot of visits from our side as well as from the Saudi side in the month to come. And the outcome of this visit will come out and we will see to it whether or not we will go forward for the FTA or not, or we will go to other way as well. So I think this is.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Consul-General. I think we also have another questions from Thai side regarding the procedures to export the stuff, but I think we will open the channels to talk in details on that. But as of now, I think I would like to turn to Mr. Deputy Thanate for a question from the Facebook page, asking about, he mentions about that he used to go to the Bangkok Gems and Jewelries in 2019, and he pretty much looked forward for this year, Bangkok Gems and Jewelry. So, Mr. Thanate, you may give some advice on that. Give us the plan of the chambers of the Ministries of Commerce, or some recommendation with regards to other trades fairs in this field.
For the trade fair in this year, one is the Thai Fest. Thai Fest is the trade fair for the food that Thai Chamber of Commerce manage this one too. This one is the biggest one of the Southeast Asia, the food fair. And for the Bangkok Gems and Jewelry, it will be the biggest one in this area too. But for the COVID situation, maybe it's not easy to make the fair like usual. But I think that this year we have some fair like the Bangkok Gems and Jewelry too, and our competitor, just like the Hong Kong, is not maybe not compete as like the last day before. So we have the good occasion to be the fair or the exhibition in Thailand. We try to get some specialist expo bid or the specialist expo to Phuket for the next, I'm not sure about next 4 years, something that will be the medical specialist expo. And we will have a lot of exhibition and a lot of meeting in Thailand. And this year we have the APEC and ABAC in Thailand too. So I think that is the good occasion that we show we prepare and we suitable, and we can do it just like before. Try to do just like before the COVID, because you know that our situation along the COVID, we have some process or something that try to do for the pandemic. So all of the regulation already released, maybe in the July we will have the usually can do for the fair, for the exhibition again. So for the Bangkok Gem and Jewelry, I think that maybe we will come back for the full spec of the Bangkok Gem and Jewelry for the next years. Thank you so much.
Mr. Deputies, I think before I turn to the last questions, if participant in this room has any questions, you can raise your hands and we'll deliver the mics to you. Please, if you have. I think we have a really good discussions until everyone has the answers already in mind. Don't worry, we have the reception after this. So, if you have any question, we can have it directly with each others. So I think I go to the last questions. I think we have 5 minutes away from completing the full 2 hours of discussion. So the last questions I may ask Mr. Consul-General. The question is that, what is the procedure for bringing Thai workers into Saudi Arabia? Can we do the agreements directly with the consulate? I think this one came from the Makkah chambers. I think maybe colleagues of Mr. Fahad Damanduris asked us through the email. So please, Your Excellency.
Well, let me say it this way. At the moment, the Ministry of Labor of both countries is discussing with regarding to the MOU for labor. I think the MOU will be signed later this month, just before Ramadan. The thing is, well, it has been 30 years past since the Thai workers come to work in Saudi Arabia quite a lot. But at the moment, the situation, business situation in Thailand has changed quite a lot. So with regarding to our worker, we also have our manpower shortage. But we would like to also support Saudi Arabia with the manpower. Let me state that this way. I think we should wait for the discussion between the ministries and all these things coming out and see how we do it. It's better to recruit, through the government agency, because right now we still haven't issued any permits for the working agency to recruit for you. So at the moment, we will have to wait first. And secondly, if there is any requirement with regarding to labor, we will direct them to the authority concerned to try to find the labor for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think if Mrs. Thanate has anything to add, would be welcomed. Unless I think I'm going to conclude these seminars and move to the next sessions of the networking. But before that, let me once again, on behalf of the my boss, Consul-General, and the Thai Trade Centers, as well as the Board of Trades of Thailand and Institutes of Business Economic Research and Development Foundation, who co-host us at these events today. So we thank you for your participations, people in these rooms and who join us through Zoom webinars, and the audience in Facebook Lives as well. I think one thing that I would like to mention is that actually we should be able to have the speaker from Jeddah Chambers and Makkah Chamber. I really appreciate your presence today, but we learned that we are in the process of reshuffling the managerial levels of the chambers. So we really hope that, as this seminar is not the first, we actually held the first series of the seminar back in November last year regarding Hajj and Umrah. This one is the second one, and we aim for the third one, focusing on SME, opportunities of the SME in Thailand and in Saudi Arabia. So hopefully we can do it after Ramadan, and we would be more than welcome to have all of you again at our seminar, the third seminar. So thank you very much, everybody, and we see you in the next room. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.